All right, so we were talking about the blessings and how the meaning of a blessing is a happy, spiritual, prospered, and life joy and satisfaction in God's favor. So blessings could be multiple things. You know, it could be material stuff, but what it really, a true blessing of God, it's the joy of life that God puts in your heart, that you just trust in God. And this is biblical. Leviticus, I think I'm getting better at it. 26 verse 3 to 11 says, if you will walk in my statute, this is God speaking, and keep my commandments and do them, then I, God, will bless you. That's a promise. And again, God does not break his promise. Who's up next?
The rhyme.
Oh, okay. So one person that I know that God has blessed, and she definitely keeps her promises, is the rhyme, that's a tongue twister, rhyme weaver Betty. And she tricked me because I looked for her name in there and I said, Betty, oh, there it is. So you tricked me. So coming up next is Betty.
Adjust it.
How low does it go? Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My things are not about Christmas. They're about my family. We know God blesses us with our family.
Exactly.
My mom's birthday was last month, and 4 years ago today we lost my dad. So from memory, if you'll bear with me and not distract me, I'll have one poem for each of them and then one more poem. A mother's love. You come to us in soft white flakes of winter's falling snow, your memory drifting down from up above. When spring sends heaven's raindrops down to make the flowers grow, the fragrant blossom radiates your love. The winter sky is blue and wide and filled with puffs of white. Your sweet voice whispers to us in the breeze. When heaven paints the autumn leaves all red and gold and bright, you smile at us from high above the trees. You sparkle in the stars each night that glimmer in the sky. You shine down with the sun on us each day. You went away, you had no choice, a person has to die, but a mother's love can never go away. Thank you. He was a boy. He was a boy during the Depression who grew up without his dad. With his mother and his brothers, they made do with what they had. They moved out of the city when the boys were in their teens. They traded the canal and sidewalks for gurgling brooks and fields of green. He didn't finish high school, but worked his aunt's farm instead. He learned to love to hunt and trap to help keep the family fed. At 20, he joined the Army to help fight World War II. Just an ordinary American hero doing what he had to do. When his soldiering days were over and he got back to his life, he met the woman of his dreams and took her as his wife. They bought a dairy farm together and they worked it hand in hand. They raised 5 sons and 3 daughters on their fertile piece of land. They milked their cows together and she kept a garden too. He still found time to hunt and trap the things he loved to do. Poor in money but rich in love, they managed to make ends meet. Between her garden and his hunting, their family had plenty to eat. His father hadn't been there to show him how to be a husband and a dad. He learned from life the best that he could, and he made do with what he had. As the world revolved and the seasons changed, the years marched by as they always do. They spent the seasons side by side, and their bodies aged as their children grew. As their sons and daughters left the farm and had families of their own, the man and his wife looked forward to their autumn years together alone. But life seems to have its own surprises, and plans sometime never come to be. Cancer took his wife away from him when he was 70 and she was 63. His life went on without her, but he was never quite the same. As the years went by and his body aged, he forgot his children's names. Dementia chipped away his memories, and his mind seemed lost at sea. Confusion and turmoil ruled his world and destroyed who he used to be. For 93 years he lived on earth, through some good times and some bad. He was a boy. He was a soldier. He was her husband. He was our dad. But a weak, confused little child emerged from that proud, strong, active man. When he took his last breath and slipped into death, he was that boy again. Thank you. And this one is called Marching By. Less energy, more memories as the years go marching by. My parents are gone, my grandkids are grown, and somewhere in between am I. I remember quite a bit of my childhood, the happy times and the sad, my large family and our life in the country with a lot more good times than bad. I remember my own children being little. That was 40 short years ago. And those precious grandbabies I held in my arms, how fast they seemed to grow. I remember some things I used to do back in high school just yesterday. I can't do things as easily, and I wonder why. Was that 50 years ago? No way. I look into the mirror and I ask myself, who is that woman I see? My grandmother? My mother? Some stranger? It certainly can't be me. I still feel young on the inside. I'm not as old as the hills quite yet. I guess the middle age has come and gone, but my life has brought very few regrets. I'll deal with less energy, and I'll cherish each memory as the years keep marching by. Though my parents are gone and my grandchildren grown, still happy to be here am I. Thank you very much.